this is the CRA meeting. Roll call.
Board of Commissioner Jackson.
Here.
Board of Commissioner Williams.
Here.
Board of Commissioner Willis.
Here.
Board of Commissioner Hutcherson.
Here.
Board of Commissioner Capizzi.
Here. Anybody have any reports or anything that they want to mention?
Not me.
Commission? Nope. No? Okay. Staff reports.
Nothing for CRA, sir.
All right. New business.
Thank you, Mayor. Item D1, approve moving forward with the Community Redevelopment Agency Commercial Visual Improvement Program. The program operates as a match grant program, meaning it provides funds to property owners to match their investment in significant exterior improvements. The CRA has allocated a budget of $200,000 for this program. Staff representatives, Tanja McCoy, Development Services Director, Karen Groom, PI Officer. Staff recommendation approved.
Move to approve item D1 as read.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Do we have any public comment on this? Go ahead.
Rick Anderson, 1800 Minutemen Causeway. I think that this could be a tremendous program to help to renovate and renew the downtown. I've seen these kind of programs work in other locations. I do have one concern with it, though. Already our downtown is kind of just a hodgepodge of buildings with not a lot of continuity and fluidity. So I would personally like to see, I'm not recommending some new commission or anything else, but I personally would like to see somebody get together and decide on maybe some architectural or aesthetic designs that would help it flow a little bit better and would make it more continuous before we go ahead and grant the money.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, I actually have a comment about that. City manager, don't we already have somewhat of a review process where it needs to be architecturally compliant?
It's limited. So it is called out in your CRA 2012 document that talks about all 5 volumes and about what you look at and consider. But I would say it's very limited. It doesn't really give any true architectural design, how it has to be peaked or anything. But there's some general information. I would say that if Tanja has any other comments she'd like to make, that's just in the reviewing of it. When I read through it, I don't see anything has to be gabled or peaked or anything to that degree or matching the next door. But I would definitely defer to her.
There's currently no design-based code.
There is not.
For improvements. And then my only other comment would be we're authorizing up to $200,000 in the CRA budget for 2024, but that doesn't mean we have to spend it all in 2024. Right. Okay.
But it is first in, first out, like first come, first serve.
Well, they have to qualify.
Yeah.
Of course, but I mean, if you qualify, it's just the first.
You get your chunk, and then the next person gets their chunk until the 200,000's gone. And if there's any left over, it goes back in the CRA fund. Correct?
Yes.
Is this something that you guys want to say? Maybe have some kind of stipulation on if we're going to give them the money that it needs to.
If you want to enact it for 2024, and you want to have a design-based code
in order to receive the grant,
then that takes, I would say, 6 months.
We would need to revise the CRA aesthetic requirements.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
All
that's a long
Never mind.
process.
Okay.
So maybe that's something you think about if you're going to try to do this again next fiscal year.
And maybe looking at an architectural board or some architectural design from the city perspective, maybe even want to expand that to not only include the CRA, but your entire city and the gateways area or other areas. So it might even be a broader based thought process. Again, I don't know.
Well, we have that. We have that in all our special districts already.
Yes.
My only concern is that if we started doing stuff like that, we'd just
Yeah.
put more regulations on businesses that I don't
Yeah.
want to do, so.
I mean, my personal opinion is I think that's what makes Cocoa Beach unique. I live in Cocoa Beach because I don't like the HOA. Everything's
Right.
exactly cookie cutter in
Okay,
other parts of the
I'm fine
county.
with
So I
that, yeah.
would be okay with some kind of common theme, but I don't want it so restrictive
yeah,
that it's
exactly.
cookie cutter.
Right, where they're spending
Yeah.
their 50% of the money to meet our code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're giving them 50% to paint the place.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, exactly. It needs to be a multiplier, not a force multiplier for improvements.
It's something that makes it easier for them to make it look better, not harder to jump through hoops.
Yeah.
Right.
And keep in mind, when they come in and apply for the program, if I'm not mistaken, the way I've read it and looked at it, they apply, submit their application, but again, until they come back and we can approve them, but they still have to go and perform the work and bring us back invoices. There's no payment until everything's complete, there's a CO and so forth, so it's a process. Maybe some have worked it better than others, but it's a process.
And I'd like to say in another key piece of the program is that in-house, we're only going to be approving anything that's 15,000 or below. So anything that's above that, which would be like a major facade change, would come to the committee for review. So you guys will have a chance to weigh in on those aesthetic features and things of that nature.
Okay.
It was 15, you said 1.5? I thought I.
15,000.
Okay. But that was my other comment, is do we want to consider lowering that? At 50,000, it's going to be four lights.
15.
Right.
15.
I was thinking the draft was 50.
Well, that's if it wants to come to us. If it's anything larger and we're like, hey, yeah, we want, like, they're only
My thought
approving
on
a.
that is, if there's 50, I mean, it's more attractive people to apply to it, and there's going to be 4 of those that go through
You saying
potentially.
you want to raise it to 50?
No, I-
15, I thought you said 15,000.
15,000 is for
15.
the smallest.
Understand.
But it can go up to 50 if we approve it.
Yes.
So at that point, though, then we could just say, no, it's too much, we don't want to do it. Or we just don't feel like,
We don't have the budget left.
yeah, we don't have the budget left for it. So it's not like she can just say, yeah, here you go.
Right, no.
Yes.
You know, we have to approve it. So it will come back to us. So
What if it's 20? What is that? What is it, if it's 15 at the city, 50 at commission, what are the,
20 will come to
it
the
had to come to
commission.
us.
Yeah. Anything,
is the max?
Yeah.
50 is the max.
50 is the max.
anything over 15,000 would come to the CRA, come to y'all.
Got it.
Yes.
And the
That seems
max
reasonable.
is 50 that can be given.
Then we have to.
What was in 2016, I believe, Commissioner Willis, you said you guys tried that prior, 2,000?
Well, nobody really knew about it,
was-
honestly.
yeah, Something around.
Fair, I'm just trying to get
We
a
only
gauge
had-
of
we-
how much.
We only
they-
had like $12,000, so we limited it to $2,000 per applicant.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yes.
I think you've got a pretty active downtown. I think there's a lot of changes going on, and this just, again, puts money back into the downtown. I think next year, we also need to look at the beautification and other projects. So if you take one step at a time, again, it's up to commission, but you can walk this through and you can combine and adjust. That's entirely up to you to tell us what you would like to see.
Yeah, I think there's the thought where the city is making investments in design of downtown and city buildings, of putting together some language of what we intend to do, what we intend to make it look like. And if we have that, I don't think we should hold this up for that, but have that expression and being able to make that available
Yeah.
to folks to say, hey, I want to tie in, I want to look,
Yeah.
I like that.
you know,
So
continuous
voluntary
with the city.
compliance.
Not obligation, but
Yeah.
opportunity.
So Josh, what
Yeah.
you're saying is, you could have
An idea.
a 25, 75% match if they met.
You could potentially incentivize it.
But that
But
would be something to work on.
Yeah, for
Next-
25.
next year.
Right, and even then, you wouldn't have to necessarily incentivize it and just say, hey, this is the intention of the
You
city.
get more if you.
You
if
could
do
potentially.
More to meet these, you know.
Or just know that you head in this direction, you're gonna look like the city buildings. You're gonna look more official, you're gonna look more tied in. There's a number of ways we could play it, but that way it's not heavy-handed, it's just, we're calling our shot.
Because I think most businesses would want to play
would.
nice, I mean,
Makes me look more
Not
official, makes me
obligated,
look
Well,
more
and
tied
The
in.
other facet of that could be, you know, putting in, windstorm hardening.
Right.
Like accordion things to close off their windows so that we don't end up looking boarded up for weeks at a time for a non-tropical storm that was threatening.
Yeah, here's some good ideas that you may want to consider in your design.
That-
Yeah,
That's.
I like that.
could be a separate agenda item
All
for
right.
a future date.
So, public comment?
You can't do this stuff.
I get that.
I just want to get some clarification on the amount. So, I don't know what item number it is, but projects over 30,000 request matching above $15,000 limit, up to 50,000 maximum. Does that mean you'll match up to 50? So it's a $100,000 project and you'll match 50,000?
No.
Because that's kind of pretty much what it says right there.
25.
Then you want to change it, that's not what we have.
It doesn't say
Match it.
25, it
It's
says 50.
25,
It
50
should be
said go up
clear.
to 100.
Right, yeah. The way I'm reading it, and let's get it all clear right now so everybody knows.
This was the confusion.
The way I'm reading it is the highest total check the city could be cutting on a given project is $50,000, which means
4 times.
a project could be $100,000, city doing a 50% match, be writing a $50,000 check.
So
That's-
that
that
was
is
my
correct.
Staff's
thought, is did
intention.
we want
That
to
is
lower that
correct.
threshold?
That seems a little excessive to me.
Okay,
I agree.
I would amend the motion to reduce that to $25,000 maximum, city input for a $50,000 project, and I'm looking for a second.
Okay, motion to amend and a second.
And thank you, Tim, for.
Yeah, I appreciate, that's a good catch.
could we clarify that the match is up to 25, but it doesn't limit how much they put in? If they want to put 100,000 in, they can still get match up to 25. They don't have to keep their project within.
Right.
25,000.
Yeah,
But
match.
they don't get.
Without a-
50%.
It's like a 401K.
They don't have to keep their project at
4%.
50,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they spend 60,000, they still get
25,000,
25
right.
if it's approved.
That way more people can take
When it
advantage of
comes to
this.
us.
I think it's better. I like that.
Okay.
We'll make sure that language.
Okay.
As you say.
So I got a motion and a second with the addendum that we're going to change that to 25. All in favor?
We'll vote for the amendment first.
Oh, vote for, okay. That's a motion and a second for the amendment.
Aye.
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 Okay, passes 5-0.
Motion.
Now we make a motion, do we need to redo that motion? or-
No.
Okay, so we got a motion and a second for the first, which was to pass this, this
Program.
resolution,
It's a program.
program. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Did we do that right?
Motion passes 5-0. Let's see. Any other public comments? All right. That adjourns our CRA meeting.